Welcome back, boys and girls of Geekland. I'm here now with the lovely Mr. Wayne Kemp.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Very well. It's been quite smooth. We've been waiting for something to go wrong. It's been almost too smooth.
You've just jinxed it by saying it.
Yeah. Well, we said that last year, and it carried on to be great. So, yeah, I think because this is the fourth year now, it's kind of everything's just exactly the same as last year, but bigger. It's just more players. So it's kind of like really there shouldn't be anything that goes wrong.
Okay.
You know, in theory, because as long as Dan's really good at the IT stuff, so he tends to get that kind of done pretty quick. My role was to kind of shout at people and make sure they get their scores in on time and stuff like that. And Russ is going around doing pretty much all the rules queries. So it does work out really well.
Get a photograph of you earlier when you were delivering your speech to the nation. It was quite funny.
Yeah.
Get them in on time, do this! And I thought, wow, goodness me, I like this side of Wayne. Well, it's good.
Yeah, Dan and Russ, you know, obviously they're more than capable of doing it, but I think sometimes when people are on the mic, they struggle with hearing their own voice and the volume of their voice. And sometimes you've got to treat the game as like children without being condescending, but if you kind of you're very blunt with them and very straight about what they should do and what they shouldn't do, then later on they can't turn around and say, oh, I didn't realise I couldn't do that, you know. And it's just if I keep not shouting them all the time, but if I keep making it quite clear what they can and can't do, then there shouldn't be a problem. And so far there hasn't been. It's been the scores on the last round. That was the quickest it's ever come in. So usually we chased up 5 or 6 players, and we didn't have to do that all this time. So
do you think the threat of points docking is the reason why people are doing that?
I mean, just it's something I don't want to do. We never want to sort of ruin someone's weekend by penalising them. And if they're a couple of minutes late, then we probably wouldn't in reality. But if I kind of give them the impression that we will come down on them really, really hard, they just won't do it. They won't take the risk. You know, because Ben Johnson said to me, he goes, oh, well, you know, that's really good that you've kind of been blunt with people. He said, but I'd still moan if I was late. I said, well, tough, you've been told. You know, so he knows, you know, everyone knows the score, so it's all right. I mean, you still get 1 or 2 who come up to you. You've just said it like 5 times to everyone, and you'll get some random person to walk up to you and say, and they'll ask you the question that you've just been sort of bellowing at everyone, but you always get that. You always get people to switch.
Oh, absolutely. But if you think back to when you were at school and the teacher was there, you might have been that person asking that question. I've just answered that.
I was that person. So.
Absolutely. So, me too as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of your roles, which I saw you doing earlier, was going around and you were looking at the armies. Now, are you judging them for something? Are you looking at the quality of the build, the paint? What are you looking for?
All of it. We're going around as people are playing and we're marking their armies. So they get points for sort of like, you know, cohesive basing, obviously the minimum standard. If they've got an army which is better, then in the category of best painted army, then they'll be nominated for it. So we'll make a short list for that. And then there's terrain as well. People get marked on their terrain. So if their terrain is you know, stands out, or is really themed with their army, or, you know, both, then obviously they're in the running for best terrain. Okay. So yeah, we're going around that, and we're doing it while people are playing, because obviously we don't have to have the whole conversation with people every time. It'll take forever. Absolutely. Especially with
defending things at times.
Yes, yeah, because you know, I had it. I mean, I used to do it when in the early days when I used to do tournaments, and I was really kind of. I mean, I am competitive about painting anyway, but but in the early days, I used to be like, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this?" And, you know, so I know that, you know, when you're getting judged, you want people to see every part of your army. But if you do that with 190 players, it'll take forever.
Take the whole weekend just to do that, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And most armies are of you know, a basic standard anyway, so they're pretty quick to mark. It's just a matter of not missing the good ones, because sometimes when people are playing their armies all in bits, you might think, oh, there's some good models, there's some nice basing, but you may not get the impact. Well, we had one army earlier, and Sky's got a VC army, which we were just looking at, and it's got, when that was in bits, it was playing, it was kind of like, it looked pretty good. But when he finished his game and he put it all together, it's got street lights. It's like cobblestones and street lights and all that, and the street lights actually light up. He's got them wired into a battery, so that one's together suddenly looks twice as good.
Absolutely,
you know, the whole effect of it. So he's going on to the nomination. I think we've got 8 armies at the moment nominated for best painted.
For best painted, all right.
Yeah.
So what sort of things are you looking for above the normal paint job of 3 colours?
The feel of the army, because sometimes you'll get. Like Rog, one of the point handler guys, has come over. Rog and Johnny have come over, and they both got really nice armies. Johnny's got a Beastman army, and Roger's got a Demon army, which he's just finished. But he's done it in a kind of subterranean, aquatic feel.
Wow,
So it's all kind of a sort of a very sort of blacky blue colour, which normally when you have a sort of one colour demon army, I've never seen one that really worked that well.
Okay.
But this one's brilliant. I mean, he's green stuffed. I hate to think how many tentacles, hundreds of tentacles, all by hand, just rolling. I think he spent 2 days just rolling out green stuff.
Oh,
and all the beasts and nobles have all got tentacles coming out the front, and it all kind of looks like, you know, real deep sea creatures. It's got that kind of feel to it.
Like Cthulhu monster with all the thingies.
Yeah, very much so, like Cthulhu, and it looks great. It looks absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic.
So he's on the list. Ben Johnson with his demons, he's on the list, and then we've got another award as well, which is coolest army. So you might not
coolest army.
Yeah, we did this last.
Getting with the kids.
Well, we did this last year for the first time, because sometimes armies aren't necessarily the best painted.
Yeah.
But you can see that people have really made an effort with other things. One of the nominations, he was on it last year as well, was Steve Foote. He's done a Lizardman army, and there's the scenery is a volcano that's erupting, and then there's kind of like burning bits of lava dropping into the units, and people being blown up and flames. And you know, technically painting-wise, it may not be with the other guys, but as an overall idea, it's definitely in the category.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sometimes it's good to, well, we think it's a good award because you do want to reward those players. You do want the whole hobby as a whole, you want to kind of give people a reason to go for it, you know.
No, definitely.
You know.
And if you want to go onto our Facebook page, you can see examples of these. I've got most of them, but I'm going to make sure as soon as we've finished this video to go out and take pictures of the rest of them. So you will be able to see them if you go onto Bad Dice Facebook. What are you looking for a standard of basing? Because this is something that at other tournaments, I've been there when players have been having a go at the tournament organiser for saying, we would have done this, we would have done that. What is a standard for basing?
I just think consistency. Because I've had a player come up to me before and he said, look, my bases are just sanded because I want a beach look. It was a high up army, and he deliberately sanded them, but he had some other bits on there. Now, when I looked at the army, everything was really clean, really consistent, and you could see that the way he'd done it was meant to be that way. He was not trying to put wool over our eyes. Consistency, I think, is the key. If you see an army, even if an army's kind of roughly based, but the whole army is exactly the same, so when it's put together, it's got a very consistent feel to it. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we want. What we don't want is some of the bases are black rimmed, some of them aren't. Some of the brown sand's been dried off, some of it hasn't been. Some's got clump foliage, some haven't.
Right.
The movement traits all different colours, because it just makes the army look a mess.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's what we want to avoid. And even if the guy's just got black movement traits, that's fine. As long as it's consistent, it's fine. You know, you don't have to have all textured bases and big unit fillers everywhere and stuff like that. You know, as long as it just looks neat and tidy, and say neat and tidy because some armies don't look neat and tidy, but as long as it's just consistent, that's what I want. Because a lot of people get paranoid about it. They're kind of like, oh no, mine isn't as good as his, mine isn't as good as that. But you're never going to get that.
Well,
in
no,
any size tournament, you're never going to get that. So it's just being a bit sensible about it as well.
So people who are listening to this, thinking, goodness me, mine isn't all together, I don't have all of this, I actually just enjoy playing the game, I don't really care about all this painting and stuff like that. Should they stay away, or is there still a place for people like that here?
If people are genuinely, I should say, not bothered about their scores at the end of the tournament, they don't really care that they finished last because their painting score was so low, it's not an issue, because obviously if they don't mind that their painting scores affects their overall standing, then it's not really an issue. As long as their opponent, as long as their army is painted to a minimum standard, because obviously in this tournament, your opponent, if you had, for example, 8 trolls, 4 were painted in the front rank and the second rank were unpainted, your opponent would be well within his rights to say, well, you can take them 4 off because I'm not playing against that. And I can understand that because it's easy to paint armies. I'm not just saying that as a painter, but the amount of tools, we've talked about this on like Healing Hand, I'm sure you have on Bad Dice.
Lots.
You know, it's very easy to paint an army nowadays. You know, with sprays and dips and whatever. You don't need to be any good at painting to reach a certain standard. You know, so there's no excuse.
Totally understand, and as you've said, we've talked about it on our podcast as well. I'm on the camp, maybe because I'm not totally into the hobby. It doesn't bother me. If someone came with just the grey models, to me, I'm there to play the game as opposed to holistically. But if you've set out at the start, this is our tournament, these are our rules, this is what we ask you to do, people then can't moan because they're buying into that and they've ticked the I agree box by signing up. So absolutely. If you do moan, then, you know, you shouldn't be here.
Well, the pack's there, you know, so before you pay money for any tournament, you know, read the rule pack.
Absolutely.
You know, if you like what you see, sign up. If you don't, don't.
Absolutely.
It's quite simple. I don't really understand the whole, because we decided last minute that we could stretch to 200 players, and because we had such a quite a big reserve list, we opened it up to the guys. It was very short notice, but we said like that, if you can make it, come. So Dan put it up on Twitter and Warhammer Forum, but then we still have people moaning, you know, that we'd given them the opportunity, even though it was last minute, to come. But they still moaned that we'd obviously given that opportunity. It's a bit strange, really. I don't really get why they're moaning, because if they can't make it, they can't make it.
Which is fine. I think everybody likes a good moan. I think it makes people feel better. And the Warhammer forums, you're also a little bit, not necessarily faceless, but it's doing through words. So, you know, you say it to the face. If you've got an issue, say it to the face. But I can see from your point of view that actually you're doing a nice thing. We've got more spaces. Do you want to come? Why should people moan then?
I mean, I think we worked out we had 5 tables that are empty.
Okay.
But it's still bigger. I think the first year we did it was 100 players. Then we went up to 140. Then we went up to 160. And then we were going up to 186 this year.
Wow.
At which point I said to Dan, look, I can't fit any more tables in. I don't think we can do it. Because we like to have, you know, the space. Because we've got such a good hall, the space has always been a good thing. And I don't want players bumping into each other and dropping their arms and all that kind of stuff. And we were in B&Q buying the extra boards that we needed to go to 186, and we kind of, shall we stretch to 200? Yeah, we'll go for it. We just got the extra boards. And that's, I mean, last night I spent about 3 hours. We put them all together, screwed them all together, and then I was just painting boards last night. I mean, because if the reserve list that we had, everyone could, we would have filled 200. And with hindsight, because we had so many people sign up, I think it was like about 320 we had originally sign up, and obviously we're only looking at doing 180 places. We will definitely do 200 next year, but we're not going to go any higher than that. And we are looking to do a doubles tournament next year. Same venue, same amount of tables, but we're going to try and do a 400 player event.
Oh my gosh.
We've got the catering for it, we've got that sorted, because there's another cafeteria here. So we've got 2 kitchens, so we've got extra toilets and more staff and everything like that. And because of the sign-ups on this tournament being over 300, we thought, well, doubles are quite popular anyway. Bring your mate along, even if you say like you're a regular player and one of your mates isn't. It's a good opportunity to get into the tournament.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're thinking we can pull it off. We're thinking, with the venue we've got and the goodwill that we've got from running this event the last 4 years.
Absolutely.
Obviously, if this weekend goes as well as the other weekends out, we think we can do it. So
you heard it here first.
But it'll be a heel and hammer event. It'll be the first heel and hammer event, because we want to do it as a hobby weekend. So it'll be a hobby weekend. It's not I don't want it to be like it won't be like a silly hobby weekend. No, I say silly, but quirky like Whoops or something like that. Because you couldn't do it on that scale. So it'll be like a proper tournament, but we'll put a lot of fun things in, like side prizes and sort of probably pump the soft scores up a bit more, and just make it more of a kind of not really a tournament, a hobby weekend. You'll come in there to enjoy 6 games of Warhammer and have a lot of fun with it. So that's what we want to aim for. Or to say that's what I want to aim for. Because obviously doing this every year and it being a kind of a hardcore tournament, high enough, the rankings and everything like that, it'd be nice to do something slightly different.
Yeah, no, I kind of understand, and that sounds more like an event that I want to go to. I'm not that competitive in terms of Warhammer, and these, you can kind of see the more competitive players at events like this, because you can see the way that mine works, the way that the games are going. But I like the fact that it's called a hobby weekend. That's good. No, that's cool.
And also, doubles are always more relaxed.
Yeah,
even
I
if you
agree.
get one player, say you get like 2 players that, I've played a lot of doubles over the years, and when you get like 2 players that say aren't really getting on, their personalities clash, the other 2 will always balance it. They'll always step in and make everything all right, and there won't be an issue in the game. And I found it in general, doubles is just a much more enjoyable game anyway.
Unless you're playing with Mark, and it's kind of like, don't play with your wife. That's what the idea is. What kind of things, to finish, are you looking forward to for the rest of this weekend? What are your favourite armies that you've seen?
I think the sort of the single-coloured Demon Army, the aquatic one we were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I really like that. I really like Steve Wren, we haven't mentioned Steve Wren.
Steve
Wren's
Wren's
Empire
lovely.
Army is fantastic. He's put a lot of work into that. Really modest as well, because we were looking at it yesterday, and Steve Wren says to me, and he says, "Oh, it's not as good as this army. It's not as good as that army." And I said to him, "It is. It is as good as these armies, if not better. It's great. You put loads of effort into the little detail work on it in the buildings, and because it's an Empire army, but he's done it where this necromancer has, sorry Steve if I get this wrong, but this necromancer has cursed the army, so parts of it are undead. But you've got to look at it really closely because it's really subtle. It's done it. Like a unit of knights, and at first look it's just a unit of knights. I say just really nicely painted and nicely based, but when you look at it really close up, the backs of the horses are undead, so there's skeleton bits in there, but it's all very, very subtle the way he's done it, and you can miss it quite easily. So it's a real modeller's, painter's army, and it's great. And he'll definitely be in the running. I think he'll be on the shortlist for one of the prizes. So
Fingers crossed.
yeah, we just have to see how it goes. I mean, I haven't looked at every single army yet. I'm almost there, so there might be a few surprises that come out. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Excellent. Well, thank you very, very much, and I hope that the rest of the tournament goes fine. You didn't jinx it.
Yeah, me too.
Cheers, matey.
Okay.
Thank you. One of the cameras, 16 minutes. That one was